Show feel. Ha ha! Alright, cool. Come on, let's get out of here. Welcome to another episode of the Joseph Bristol Show. As you can see, I'm babysitting today. I had to watch my goddaughter, but I wanted to make an episode anyway, even though I'm watching her. She's a pretty good baby, as you can see. But nonetheless, a couple things to get into before we get into the subject of today's video. I suggest everybody take a look at this Time Warner merger. Originally, the government put a stop to it, as the merger would essentially allow Time Warner to basically run the internet, and they would own majority of the services. So the government stopped it, but they're suing. They're trying to pursue forward and push through. Another thing to take a look at, or to really keep in mind and understand what happened, is this Facebook Analytica thing that's going on. As you may know, a Russian company basically was hired to collect information from Facebook users. But what the problem occurred is that they were collecting information from Facebook users as well as the friends of the users, and then using that information to spread propaganda, influence elections and things of that nature. So that's just two news stories that I really think that we should all take a look at and just pay attention to and watch out for, to see how the outcome of these things turn out, as they do impact our lives tremendously. So today's episode, specifically, I want to talk about words, the power of words. And the reason why this is extremely important that we keep this in mind, or we more so practice the understanding of the power of words, is because back in the earlier days, in the earlier civilization with human beings, remember, there were a lot less people. The human population was nowhere near 1 billion. It was actually extraordinarily low in the times of wars and things like that. And before we really started pushing education and civilized living. Look at it, back in those days, there was words were very important. So if Timmy the cook said something, to Sarah the maid, the word would spread around of what he said, and it didn't take very long. Mind you, there weren't very many people. So if you lived in a village of 500 people and you said something, more than likely all 500 people would know exactly what it is that you said. So your words mattered. If you look at medieval times, you were a man of your word or you were a coward, straight up. So you either said what you meant and meant what you said, or you were a nobody. You were nothing. Your word meant nothing. Your word was everything back in the day. And even nowadays, actually more so nowadays, your word is more important. Nowadays, your word is even more important, because when you say something to somebody, it has ripple effects. If you look at it nowadays, they're looking at people's old tweets. You could tweet something 3 years ago, and depending on who you are, they'll pull that up and they'll use that against you. So words are very, very powerful things. If you're a spiritual person and you think about words on a spiritual level, then you know that God spoke the universe into existence. He spoke these words. He said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And that's how it works. So you're talking about the power of your mouth, the power of your words. It's extremely, for me, I learned at an early age that words do in fact hurt. and they hurt more than punches and kicks and bruises. Somebody can say something to you very, very hurtful, and 15 years later you still can't get those words out of your mind. So I learned at an early age the power of words and how they can be hurtful or or helpful. And on that note, it's always made me be one of those people that I always try to say what I mean and mean what I say. And this is all because I have always valued my words. Not only my words, but I've always valued the way that I'm perceived. So the valuing of your words and the valuing of the way that you're perceived, they go hand in hand. But the valuing of your words is even more important because the words that you say, how you say something, the words that you use when you say it, the tone in which you speak when you're speaking to somebody, these things display to others how you yourself think about yourself, as well as how you think about other people. That's how powerful words are, because you can say to somebody something very mean, but in a very nice way. Words are very important, and more so if you say to somebody, hey, I'm gonna do this, and you then don't do it, this brings us back around to trust. So your words increase the trust that other people feel for you. And trust is actually a very, very serious thing. A lot of people don't realize how serious trust is. And I'll just show you everyday things for trust. So you might go to a McDonald's or a store to get some food, and when you order your food, the person walks away, they go in the back to get the food. You don't really know what they did with the food. You don't know if they spit in the food or they dropped the food. You're trusting that this person is going to do the right thing, make your food and give it to you. You're trusting that your order will be correct when you placed it. When you see your spouse in the morning and you tell them, hey man, I'll see you later, I'm going to work, you're trusting that your spouse is actually going to work, because who's to say if they go to work or not? I've done it. I said I'm going to work and I didn't go to work. But sometimes I do go to work, clock in, and depending on the job that I got, I can leave work. So people think I'm at work. The clock in says I'm at work, but I'm not at work. I'm somewhere else. So that's trust. Trust is so serious. The next time you go to the ATM and you pull out your money, take a second and realize that you're probably going to count that money, because you don't really trust the machine. Trust is everywhere, and it's in everything. When someone says something to you, you're literally trusting that their word is true. So if you say to your friend, if your friend says to you, hey man, I'm going to come pick you up at 4 o'clock, you're trusting that they will actually come and pick you up because they're your friend. So the power of words is extremely serious. It's taken advantage of, though. And the reason why I say that is there are many words that people use, or there are many things that people say that they don't really understand the full concept of what it is that they're really saying. There's different kinds of love. There's romantic love, there's friendship love, there's the love that a parent feels for their child. There's different kinds of love. But still yet the word that we use is just love. Although in other countries and other cultures, they have different words for those different categories of love. So I guess the question really becomes, does the English language not have enough words for us to fully express ourselves to one another in a way that we can understand one another fully? Or maybe we just need to adapt other words from other cultures to increase our ability to express ourselves to each other. Because words is how we mainly express ourselves to one another. Other ways of self-expression are, of course, the way that you dress, your hairstyle, the clothes that you're choosing, the color of your clothes, how you're putting them on. All that stuff is self-expression. Your car, your house, your apartment, the way that you flutter your eyes, the way you walk, all of it is an expression of who you are. It's literally your personality jumping out at others. So when it comes to words, though, words allow us to express to one another the thoughts that are running through our minds. So that would mean that each person either needs to increase their vocabulary so that they can express themselves better to each other, or we need to take more time to understand the words in which people are saying to us. My main objective today, the main thing that I'm pushing right now in this video, is better understanding of the words that you're saying. So for me, I like to always remember the 4 T's of life. Take time to think. 4 T's of life. And if you always do this, you will ensure that you are more likely to always get the outcome out of life that you desire. Although most of life is uncontrollable, it's just things happening to you and you simply must react to the things that are happening. But your words are mainly the things that you control. You not only control your actions, but you can control your words. And that is extremely important because, again, power is in the words. Adolf Hitler used words. Martin Luther King used words. Malcolm X used words. Gandhi used words. Any powerful person in history always used words. Socrates, Einstein, anybody in history, every powerful person in history used words to get what they desire. So if you want to get what you desire, you have to understand how words work. You have to use your words better. And as long as you are able to express yourself to another person openly and clearly, then you now must allow that other person to understand the words that you're saying to them, instead they can now react correctly to what you're trying to say. So today I really just wanted to push that idea that we really got to pay attention to our words. We have to say what we mean and mean what we say. And if you say something to somebody today, do not forget what you said to them tomorrow. So if you tell somebody you love them, understand what you're saying. You're saying, I love you, not just right now, but I love you all around. The power is in the words. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Joseph Bristol Show. I appreciate it. And I think my sign-off, I'm working on the sign-off thing, but I think in my sign-off is going to be, let's just remember to, let's try to remember that we're all doing the same thing. We're all just trying to be happy.